We should be coming up pretty soon. Okay. We are live. Now, I'm going to see. So right now, I haven't heard feedback yet from my sign on, so I'll let it go for now. You get anything?
No.
Okay.
It just says record up there.
Okay. Let's see. Sometimes it starts repeating back whatever we just said. Let me start the presentation. Oh, there we go. That okay, so now I did. So good evening, everyone. Are you guys seeing the screen?
Yeah, well, we see
you.
you.
Huh?
It's kind of fuzzy too.
Oh, well, let me
The little picture's fine. The big picture is fuzzy.
let me try it again. Share screen. Maybe I just
Okay.
now do you see it?
Yep.
Yes.
There we go. There it is.
Okay. Okay, so good evening, YouTube fans. Tonight is virtual wine tasting in the era of post-coronavirus. It is tax day, April 15th, 2024, and we are still looking into the Santa Cruz Mountains AVA, and tonight's featured region within the AVA is the Pescadero region. I am this guy. I am the wino snob of Wine is Life. I'm David Mayer, and then we are our tasting panel this evening. Let's remove about three-quarters of these people because tonight is a very small group because everybody's got stuff going on in their life. So here's our tasting group tonight. Fewer people than we normally have, but these are dedicated wine tasters, and I'm proud of them. We'll start with the pair up in Fairfield.
We are Bill and Dorothy from Fairfield, and we are compliant tonight. We're drinking a Sandar and Hem Pinot Noir 2021. The alcohol is 13.4, and the vineyards on the Mendigo Ridge, which is up above Pescadero. David found it. And so we're pretty sure we're compliant. And I don't know anything else about this winery because the website didn't talk about its characteristics or anything else. So I have a pretty bare report. But anyway, it tastes like a Pinot. That's okay. Pinot's not my first choice, but this one's pretty tasty.
I like a good Pinot. Sometimes you have to, spice your life up a little bit, have something a little different. And,
right. That's the advantage of tasting with you. We get to try all sorts of things that I wouldn't normally do, feel, like sake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Sore subject, I know. Sorry. So we're beyond sake. We will never, ever return to sake.
Yay!
There's enough wine regions in the world, and we're going through these very slowly. We're really crawling through the vineyards with the style we've been doing lately. So it'll take forever to ever do anything else but wine.
You know, we can get out. We can stay in California for a long time, and then we can go to the Finger Lakes. And
yeah. Yeah. Okay. Then we'll have fun trying to find wines from the Finger Lakes and from Lake Erie region because those aren't necessarily on our shelves here either.
Yeah.
Which brings us to Nan.
Yeah. Well, Nan and Scott minus Scott, he's fishing. I'm non-compliant. I have Joe God, Chardonnay, so 2021, and it was much better than the other one that we tasted yesterday. So I had some of this.
That's always a good thing. Well, I would say semi-compliant. My wine does not come from Pescadero region of the Santa Cruz Mountains, but it does come from the Santa Cruz Mountains. It's Bargetto. Uh, let's see, there we go. Bargetto. It's a Pinot Noir 2021, and it's a Pomard clone. So there are several very specific clones of Pinot Noir that are used in especially in California. If you look on them and they talk about clone 667 and clone 777, those are the ones that are used the most. And then Pomard clone is another one, and there's a few others too that I can't remember off the top of my head. Bargetto is probably one of the oldest wineries after Prohibition in the Santa Cruz Mountains. They were established in 1933, and Prohibition was repealed in December of 1933. So they were right there. This is from their Regan Vineyards estate, which is overlooking the Monterey Bay. So not Pescadero region, because that would be overlooking the Pacific Ocean if it was the Pescadero region. They do minimum intervention techniques, so fermenting with native yeast, so not cultured yeast like we do at Inglenook. They ferment it and bottling without fining or filtering, so whatever comes out of at the end of their fermentation, that's what's bottled. This is a 13.5% alcohol, and it is since last week's Big Basin GSM was so disappointing for me, I'm happy to report that this is what a Pinot Noir should be. This is delicious. It is light. You can see how you can almost see through it. Some wineries claim to be Burgundian style. What I like is they didn't even claim that, and they are. So, and usually the ones that claim Burgundian style aren't even. They're heavily extracted. They're not anything like what you'd find in a true Burgundy. So this is really delightful. It's true to the grape. It is light. It has all the nose and palate characteristics you want to look for a good Pinot Noir. I'm very happy.
I think ours is very nice.
Very nice too.
I'm happy with ours. I'm not. Pinot's not one of my favorites, but I think this is very nice.
So Sue, I think Sue's going to be happy with this one, because she does like a good Pinot, and she likes the lighter ones too.
I would say this is a lighter one.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Yeah. So then it's when they're heavy and heavily extracted, the winemaker is trying to make their Pinot act like a Cabernet Sauvignon, and it shouldn't.
Yeah.
Right.
Did not. So let's look into this region and see anything about this area. Have you've been to Bill and Dorothy? You've been to Pescadero on the coast?
Yes.
Dan, I imagine you have not, but it's a nice area. It's farmland. It's right. It faces the Pacific Ocean. It's really it's pretty. The town itself is tiny, and I've never done wine tasting there.
We've never done wine tasting in that area either. No. We've done coastal things.
Let's see. So, can you see this again? You're seeing the.
Yeah.
We're
screen.
seeing the tasting panel.
Okay, good. Okay, good. So, song. Forgot this. God, how do I forget the song? So I guess I'm singing tonight.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
You can decide
Okay.
how many verses you want to sing.
Yeah, you don't have to sing.
Okay. So this is to the two. I guess I'll leave everybody up here. This is to the two. This is from the song "Hooked on a Feeling" by Blues Swede, and but it's hooked on wine drinking. Yeah, tell me if I'm singing too much. I'll stop. Then I'll have no problem stopping. So if you're familiar with this is one that's kind of long. So yeah. Wino chugga, wino chugga, wino chugga, wino chugga, wino. I can't stop this drinking deep inside my glass. Girl, you just don't realize what wine does to me. When I have wine in my glass at night, lets me know everything's all right. I'm hooked on wine drinking. I'm high on believing that I'm in love with wine. Grapes as sweet as candy. Its tasting is on my mind. Wine, you got me thirsting for another cup of wine. Got a bug from you. Wine, I don't know. I don't need no cure. I'll just stay a victim if I can for sure. All the good wine. When I'm all alone, fill it up wine. Yeah, you turn me on. I'm hooked on wine drinking. I'm high on believing that I'm in love with wine. All the good wine. When I'm all alone, fill it up wine. Yeah, you turn me on. I'm hooked on wine drinking. I'm high on believing that I'm in love with wine. I'm hooked on a wine drinking. I'm high on believing that I'm in love with wine. I said I'm hooked on wine drinking, and I'm high on believing that I'm in love with wine. Hooked on wine drinking. You guys didn't stop me, so I guess I wasn't too bad.
No, I'm impressed. Certainly better than I would
Uh,
be.
I have so I don't know if you know how these tunes come about, but I hear a song. Sometimes it's in the gym during our exercise class, which I think this one was, and or I just hear something. I go, "Oh, that'll make a good wine song." So I could flip this around and make it a wine song. So that's how those happen. When we do game night, which is not until June 10th, we'll have the opportunity of doing wine song karaoke that night too. So we'll see how that works out. Yeah. If you get through all of the if you get through the question and you're wrong to the very end, you have to sing a song. That'll be
Oh,
the how that works.
good.
That'll be your penance for not getting
No, that'll be the
the answer.
penance for everybody else.
Yeah. And
Yeah, thanks
everyone
for the
else will
warning.
yeah, everyone will suffer. Everyone will suffer
Right.
equally.
Right. Right.
Cheers to that.
Cool.
Okay, so let's look into this region. Sharon's not here. Okay. So this is the map. We're in this region right here. So Pescadero itself is a little town that's on the coast, the Pacific Ocean, San Mateo County?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so, yeah. So this is the region. Bill and Dorothy are the only ones compliant tonight.
Yay.
Mine's probably from over here somewhere. So this is what the coast, California. I love the California coast. To me, it's one of the prettiest places on the planet. This is the which White House is this? This is the uh, I think it's Pelican Point. Does that sound right to
Could
you?
be.
That
Yeah.
actually looks like the North Coast one, but I'm sure it's not.
Yeah, so it's one of the lighthouses on the coast,
it?
and there's Sue and I have been to this lighthouse, and we did a tour, and uh um there's a hostel that's attached to that over it's behind. Let's see, can you see it? Yeah, don't really see it. It's probably off the screen. So yeah, it's a youth hostel, what they call a youth hostel. So let's
Did
see.
you stay at the hostel?
No, no, we just visited the and went up. I don't think we went up that one because I think it was closed. And then they
Okay.
closed. Then actually it was. Let's go back there. It was for sale. They wanted someone to buy it and take care of it, and it was. I
Okay.
think they sold. It was sold for like $1 or something like that. Um, but they bought it for $1 in the with the agreement that they would restore it. And so I don't know. I haven't been back there since that happened. So Pescadero is Spanish for fishmonger. Pescadero is a farming, tourism, and ranching community near the Pescadero Marsh, a wildlife refuge. Pescadero Creek, the longest stream in San Mateo County, is an annual creek that empties into the Pacific Ocean near the town. Many of the buildings in town date from the 19th century. Pescadero is situated near the Pacific Ocean, about 17 miles south of Half Moon Bay and about 34 miles north of Santa Cruz. Pescadero is also a weekend tourist destination during the summer months because of beaches. Oh, yeah. Parks, including Memorial Park and Butano State Park, Pigeon Point. Oh, I guess I was right.
Right.
Lighthouse and Hostel. I was right there too, as well as extensive rural. I always stumble over this word rural. Does anyone else have that problem with that word? It doesn't sound right when you say it. Rural. Roads for biking and trails for hiking in the Santa Cruz Mountains. Pescadero is also host to a number of successful agricultural ventures, some of which offer high quality produce and quality added or value added products throughout the San Mateo County and much of the Bay Area. Pescadero hosts the annual Pescadero Art and Fun Fair. Never been to it. On the third weekend of August, the Alta Velo Bicycle Racing Club holds the annual Pescadero Coastal Classic Road Race, which travels through the town and nearby countryside in early to mid-June.
Okay, let me ask Nan a question, because
Yeah.
you live in somewhat rural areas. So I would say when I say the word rural, the second R doesn't get pronounced that much. It's more like just rural,
Rural, yeah,
right?
yeah,
So that's your problem. You're trying to pronounce both R's.
I'm trying to pronounce the second R.
yeah, it's
Right,
just rural, like rural
Okay.
round,
rural.
yeah.
It's a
Rural
silent
route.
second R. Okay, got it.
Well, kind
Rural,
of, yeah,
rural.
rural.
It
Yeah.
yeah, that's probably my problem.
I thought, gee, I grew up with rural route all the time and never hit me, but I think it's that R that,
Okay, it's throwing me off.
yeah, you just didn't grow up in
I
a
don't think I
rural
used to try to
community.
say, I don't think I used to try to say that until I started seeing it. It pops up a lot in these wine things. And I thought, oh, am I supposed to say the R? I don't know.
Right?
Here's another view of the coast. So we have beaches on here. I think this is Pescadero Beach. There's two really prominent beaches, Pescadero and San Gregorio beaches are down here, and they're both wonderful
That's
beaches.
pretty. I like how it's got the water, in between.
Yeah.
This is the creek emptying out, and sometimes the creek empties and it goes nowhere. It doesn't cross this like bar, but it goes underneath the bar, and when it
Oh.
empties. Yeah.
Then we'll get high surf and it'll cut away in.
Yeah. So a lot of the towns on the coast, this and like Mendocino, they resemble to me New England. towns rather than like have little to do with what California is about.
It's an interesting church, I assume.
And I've not been in it. It was a cool picture, so I picked it up.
Yeah, it is a cool picture.
So Pescadero Creek Vineyards, as you can see, there was a lot of information about it. It exists, but I couldn't get any information about it, so here it is. And here's the bottle down here is the bottle from Pescadero Creek, and
Madsen Syrah.
doesn't actually say Pescadero on the front labels. I don't know. Fun stuff. Okay, so we'll move on. So here we go. Pichetti Winery. Oh, I think I put this on here because I loved the fact that they just spell everything out, what you can and can't do when you visit them.
Large parties and
as you
events.
know, I work at a winery, and we had somebody come in with a dog, and somehow they convinced the concierge that the dog is a service dog. And I will say that the dog was well behaved. I thought it was funny or interesting when they were sitting. There was a table of 5 people, and they pulled out the sixth chair and put it so the dog could sit at the table with them. Otherwise,
well, I think our daughter was on an airplane one time, and a dog came on that had a little service dog thing, and it was a dachshund or something like that. It was kind of like, okay.
But when people come with a dog, the only thing we could ask them about that, if they claim a service dog, is to ask them, what is the dog trained to do? We can't ask them what's wrong with them that they need a service dog.
Right.
That's very un-Californian to ask people what their problem is. Right. I don't know what I don't know. I didn't find out the answer of what the dog was trained for. But I just thought it was interesting that the dog got its own chair. That was funny.
Oh, I like all the rules there.
I didn't take care of them.
Showed about 12 different varieties of that winery, and they were out of stock of absolutely everything. So
okay. So let's see what this winery has. For the safety and comfort of our patrons, we kindly ask that you follow our guidelines. Violators will be asked to vacate the premises. Yes. I love it.
It looks like kind of a cowboy bar. Let's face it.
They say, have fun. We ask that you enjoy your time at Pichetti Winery. However, they don't say however. I'm saying however. There is no food for sale, but we encourage you to bring your own picnic lunch to enjoy on the grounds. Picnic tables and benches are available on a first-come, first-served basis. That's great. We don't allow that here at our place. We do not reserve picnic tables. You are welcome to bring a picnic blanket and relax in the grass. Bringing a group? We can accommodate up to 10 guests, including children, on weekends and holidays, and up to 20 guests Monday through Friday. Well, that's pretty cool. Large parties and events are not permitted. No animals allowed. Pets are not allowed at Pichetti Winery. This includes the tasting room, hiking trails, and picnic grounds. Exceptions. Trained service dogs for the blind, deaf, disabled, and handicapped. Therapy and emotional support animals are not permitted.
Yay!
Which is
I like that.
What California law says, there is no such thing as a service dog for emotional support. Doesn't exist.
Is that right?
I like
that. Does not exist in California. And if you want to bring your pet, not allowed. No outside alcohol due to licensing. Well, of course, don't bring stuff from somewhere else. That's stupid. Outside alcohol is allowed anywhere on the premises. This includes any wine, beer, or hard liquor that has not been purchased from Pichetti Winery on the day of your visit. Anyone consuming wine must be able to prove they are 21 years of age or older. Yeah, don't bring in a Pichetti wine that you bought, a month ago and drink it on the premises. That's stupid. No smoking due to local fire regulations. Smoking and any open flames such as barbecues, grills, candles, fireworks, etc., are strictly prohibited. So not this past weekend, but the weekend before, I had somebody at the very end. I'm across the room ringing up their order, and I look at them, and I see a cloud of smoke going up. I go, what the hell? And I got over there, and the wife says, "Yeah, I told him to stop it. He was gonna he lit up his e-cigarette and was going to start
Yeah.
smoking, which is not allowed in California." Um, Children are welcome. Pachetti Winery is family friendly. Children must always remain under close parental supervision. I love that because it doesn't happen at our place, even when they're outside. No climbing on the historic buildings, no ball games of any kind. We had at one time someone throwing footballs back and forth in the gift shop over the fine crystal. That was interesting.
Oh,
Please stay out of the creek. Be respectful of peacocks and wildlife. I love that. No music, amplified music is not permitted anywhere on the grounds. No decorations. Please do not bring any decorations such as balloons, confetti, banners, and streamers. I love Pachetti Winery.
I do too.
Yeah.
Bill and I just went to in Vacaville. It was music outside last Thursday or
Last
something like
Thursday.
that. But people had balloons. People were having parties there were some picnic tables, and the truth is that the people were so loud that it was hard to hear the music. It was just a small group. They weren't there to hear the music. They were there to do whatever. And it was annoying.
Yeah. There's something to say that some people do not. A lot of people are great. Some people not so much.
Well, and Bill said, well, they were just happy to be outside and see each other again. But I thought, I wanted to see the performers, not their balloons. Right?
Yeah. You have to be respectful about other people.
Yeah, and people we brought our own chairs. We were sitting in chairs, and it was that sort of thing. So it was very informal. But come on.
So this is Uphill Ranch, and you notice there's a lot of information about Uphill Ranch too.
Yeah,
Right here.
but some nice photos.
Yeah. I had to be very careful. So, when you search for, and this is, the grapes were from Amador County for this one. There's oftentimes the same name is at other parts of the country. So I started looking at Uphill Ranch, and I go, oh, that's pretty cool. Then I realized it was like in somewhere else. It was in Pennsylvania or something like that. Oh, okay, that's not the right one. So I couldn't even find a separate bottle, but this is they have a cool label, so that was cool.
Yeah.
And then we have this one, and they spell out for you how to say it. Sante Arcangeli. Arcangeli. So that's what that is. Or I should say, what is it? Was a person. Oh, he was my great-grandfather. He died in 1934 at a very young age of 47, but not before fathering 3 remarkable children and building an historic business on the north coast of California in the small farming town of Pescadero. The children were Louise, Livia, and Alfredo, and the business later became known as Archangel Grocery Company. Oh, I think I've seen that. aka Norm's Market, a world famous bakery and gourmet market. I think that's the biggest establishment in Pescadero. At the hands of Sante's grandson Norm Benedetti, her dad, and my mom Shirley. It's now owned by Sante's great grandson, my brother Mike. I decided to name the winery after my great grandfather as a means of honoring all those in my family who came before me and provide me with the tools to do what I do, what I love to do. So I haven't been here either. Looks cool though. Looks nice. Yeah, feels warm and friendly. Okay, so that's it for this stuff. Next week, April 22nd, we're still in Santa Cruz Mountains in the Aptos, Corralitos, and Watsonville regions. And oops, stop share. How's that? Okay, there we go. So we're back. How are we doing for time? Well, we're doing good. How's the wine holding up?
Good.
I'm happy.
I'm happy.
I'm happy too.
How about you, Nan?
Yeah,
And
it's good.
How's your Chardonnay? It's good.
and yours is Joel Gott. So
Yeah, Napa.
yeah. So is that any relationship to the Gotts? It is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they have their own wine too.
Okay.
Yeah, Gotts. There's several Gotts. So there's the Gotts in St. Helena, which is the original Taylor Refresher.
Right. Right.
And then they also have one in Napa at the Oxbow Market. And there's also one at the Ferry Building in San Francisco.
Right.
In San
Right.
Francisco.
Okay. Yeah.
And of all those, the only one I've ever been to is the one in San Francisco.
Really? No, we've been at the one in St. Helena.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been to the one in St. Helena.
It's past my
We've
usual trip
been
up
to
there.
Oxbow Market one too.
We've probably been to Oxbow Market, but we haven't been to Oxbow Market for a long time.
You know, I've never been to the Oxbow.
Well,
But it's very similar to the market in the Ferry Building. A lot of the same vendors are in both
Yeah.
places.
Right.
Anyway,
so how's your rhubarb, Dan?
It is, it's growing. I said in the last week, it's more than doubled in size. We've had so much rain, and I guess Uncle Bill's been cutting it and giving it to different people and everything. So yeah,
Okay.
lots of rhubarb. Yeah, I meant to take a picture. My cousin was home. She was taking care of mom and dad for a few weeks while their son that lives here, while he and his wife were in Florida. And so she came because they've had a lot of health issues. They're in their 90s, and like he fell. How was it last time he fell? He's looking up at the thermostat, and he's looking at the bottom of his glasses, looking up, and I don't know what happened, but he fell over backwards and hit a cabinet and cut his head all open. And yeah, so that's been a while. And then she fell in the yard and he couldn't get her up. We weren't home, and I guess he finally took his tractor and put it beside her, and she was able to pull herself up, with the tractor. I'm like, I don't know why she didn't walk down the driveway anyway, where the ground is level, because she has issues with balance. And but I think she's 96 and he's 95. So I guess, they're still basically living on their own with help now with the kids. So they're still doing really good. But they're the ones that have the rhubarb, and it's right over here. And I should get more ambitious and do a rhubarb crisp or something like that. But it just seems like our days go so fast. We have Maddie 2 or 3 days a week, and then the other days that we don't have her, you're going grocery shopping, you're doing your own errands. The dog needs groomed, we need groomed, that kind of thing. That yeah. So
I need to
we
groom
have
my hair.
yeah, we have Maddie tomorrow for a little while Megan has a doctor appointment, and then we have her Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday we get groomed. And so hopefully my hair will be a lot shorter than next week.
Maybe I'll do that tomorrow because I have some time. I have bocce, and then Sue's at the free dining, so I think I'll do that.
We need to get groceries. I've made a salad and pretty much emptied the vegetable drawers. So yeah, I need milk for Maddie. So that'll be tomorrow afternoon after she leaves, goes home. We'll go to the grocery store, fill up the refrigerator again. Oh. Because we didn't last week. We didn't really go. I don't think last week. We just went and picked up a few things. So my sister was here the week before. Well, for the eclipse,
Right.
she was here. Yeah. So, I said the eclipse was a little. What's the word I'm looking for? I mean, it was good. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I expected more. The news agencies to just, the eclipse. I mean, every day on morning, noon, and night, on the news, and I don't know what I was expecting, but I was
But
expecting a
you're
lot.
you're pretty much in the path, right?
Yeah, we were just outside the path, and so like they showed on the news where there was like basically a halo around. We
Yeah.
never really could see that halo. You could see it as the eclipse starting, and you got chunks basically taken out, and and then before you know it, you just got this little sliver, but it never went from sliver to that little circle around it. And I guess that's what I was looking for, was that circle around it, and it didn't.
And
didn't
did it
continue.
not get noticeably darker?
The post light came on, but it wasn't
Okay.
dark. They showed it
Okay.
in Cleveland, and it was dark. It
Uh-huh.
wasn't like that here. It was dusk.
Okay,
I mean,
that far from
Yeah.
Cleveland.
and I think that was another thing that I was like, well, it didn't really get that dark here, although my post light did come on, but it was
So
kind of
is it-
anticlimactic after all the news, for like months.
Yeah.
They've been talking about it.
Jessica and Max and my son-in-law's family took a cruise down to Mazatlan and to see it down there.
Oh,
Oh.
uh-huh. And were they able to
And
see
what was
it?
their reaction?
Sue was talking to them earlier, and I was at my computer, so I didn't hear the whole conversation. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't really know. My grandson's 6, and he's already taken a cruise.
Yeah.
And been to Hong Kong, and he's been to all over the place. So he's very well traveled for a young kid.
We had Maddie that day too, and she had fallen asleep on the couch. And so I was like dashing out the door and putting my glasses on and looking, and then coming back in, and so I was in and out at least half a dozen times looking at the sun. My sister was here, but she kind of did the same thing. So she was probably watching Maddie when I wasn't in. And but then eventually Maddie woke up, and Megan's like, well, what did Maddie think? And I'm like, I was a little bit afraid that she wouldn't wear the glasses.
Right.
And I didn't want to damage her eyes.
Right.
There's going to be some another like partial eclipse or something in 20 years, and she can look at that one.
Max wasn't very, he was on a cruise, didn't really care much about the cruise. He rather stay in his room and watch movies than be outside.
Maddie is into movies, and she fell asleep watching a movie, and she slept for over 2 hours and on the couch. And Megan's like, I can't believe she sleeps on your couch. And I said, Megan, you got to remember, my couch is flat. It doesn't have the recliner on the couch.
Right.
Yours has a recliner, so it's kind of humped. She said, but she's always tossing and turning. I said, well, she does a little bit of that, but I'm right there with her, and I just put my hand up to her head to make sure she doesn't fall off or anything. And we put pillows down though on the floor just in case she would roll off, but she hasn't done that yet. So.
Well, I think, I mean, the first eclipse that I remember when our son was little, I mean, he didn't pay any attention, but we didn't have glasses. It was like before before you could just get glasses. But what they suggested was you just like poke a hole in a piece of cardboard and look at and that was impressive. Just be able to see the cutout was impressive.
I was working in San Jose, and that we did that. We were out in the parking lot and did that.
Yeah, holding pieces of cardboard around.
Yeah. And they
I
said the
know.
same thing even this time, that, because the glasses evidently were hard to find. I know I searched for a couple months and kept asking different stores, do you have any eclipse glasses? Finally got some. And yeah, I paid a lot more than what I should have paid, but they were the regulated ones and everything. They
Right.
were good.
Right.
Hopefully nobody got, issues with the eyes. My
Right.
son-in-law, he was at work, and he's the one that alerted us that it was starting. Because we have these watches, and you text and you can read the text on your watch. And so, that's the first time I went out, was to look to see what he was seeing and everything. And Megan was at work, and they were all standing outside at work. They were a little bit more in the path than what we were, and Megan was anyway. And I'm not sure about Carrollton. We were just outside of it. So I don't know. They probably had a little bit better view than what we did. And they were talking about taking pictures, and we were both trying to do that, my sister and I, and the pictures, weren't, even though you were putting the glasses on your camera, like they said, they just really weren't all that great. So
Easier to take a picture of the shadow when you have the little pinhole.
Right.
probably. So anyway, like I say, it was just a
There
little
was a total eclipse
anticlimactic.
back in '63, and my dad was teaching a summer class at University of New Hampshire. So we drove up in northern Maine to get into the total eclipse, and that was kind of fun.
But you obviously didn't have glasses at that time, right?
Well, we probably looked through.
Yeah, you probably looked through a pinhole.
Well, they said you could use the welder's helmet too, and I think Scott
Right.
used that. We had a partial, probably just a few years back, about, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, and he was at work. He just used those.
Yeah.
If you got an arc welding helmet, it's the same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what they had. And these
Yeah.
glasses, you put them on, you'd look up at the light here, you couldn't see a thing, not a
Right.
thing.
Right.
So, they really blacked it out good, and it hopefully it saved our eyes. Matt said that his eyes felt a little strained, and I would agree with that. I don't know. And I didn't even stay out there. I was just in and out, about every couple minutes I was in and out. So, but they were probably standing watching it. It was interesting. Oh,
We
something to
looked
do
at
that
it for a few seconds
Right.
with the glasses. But it was a little, it's kind of cool to see the little
Yeah.
arc that's gone.
Yeah, looked like somebody bit a cookie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
But it
I
didn't
found
look
out
like
some
height,
interesting,
right.
something interesting last week when after our last gathering. So our information has been hacked and put out on the dark web. My
Oh,
information.
nice.
Oh.
So apparently, one of AT&T's partners' website was hacked. So that's why I hate where I have nothing to do with their partner, but AT&T gives our information to them, and then they get hacked, and everything's been exposed on the dark web. So I had to go out and call the different credit bureaus and have my accounts frozen so no one can open new accounts, and it's good. Then
Well,
that's
I was getting some more of that porn email. I don't know, maybe that's why. I don't know. But it's like, oh God, delete. I am not a man, and I could care less. I have all the same body parts you women have, and I could care less. It's just like, oh.
yeah. So I have to keep track of all that stuff.
We have Experian, and so that pretty much lets me know if there's been anything going on. But I have all my accounts that I track my accounts. They're locked. Yeah. So, and I'm sorry to hear about Mrs. Coppola passing. That
I know.
Surprise to me, probably not to people that are there closer, but
it wasn't a surprise. We know she had been ill. I have no idea what was wrong.
Yeah, And I read the obits. There've been different ones in our paper and what you had online, and yeah, they didn't really say what her illness was or anything.
That it's a shame. You met her. She was such a wonderful lady. You know,
Yeah, she was very nice.
She was very nice, and every personal encounter I had with her was just very nice. So it's a shame, but I mean, she was, what is 87, I guess.
87.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I haven't had any encounter with the family since we heard about it. So I don't know.
Well, you probably won't either.
No.
So
We got an email from Roman and Sophia letting us know. So it's, yeah, sad stuff.
I'm waiting for the nephew to come out with something on Instagram or something, but
Yeah. Well, I think I'm gonna wrap things up, guys.
okay.
Okay.
For coming on and having some wine with me and sharing yourself with the world.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next week, if not before. All right.
Hey,
Sounds good.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good night, guys.
Yeah.
good night.
Bye-bye.